Welcome to A Taste of Torah with Rabbi Carol. This week we are looking at Parsha Emor, which begins in Vayikra, Leviticus chapter 21, verse 1. And our first Aliyah goes through the first 15 verses. And as you begin to read this chapter, you will notice that God is giving regulations and guidelines for the cohanim, the priests. And I just want to read one verse from this Aliyah, and that is verse 6. And here Adonai says, they are to be holy for their God, and not profane the name of their God. For they are the ones who present Adonai with offerings made by fire, the bread of their God. Therefore they must be holy. So twice he says that the cohanim, the priests, must be holy. And he says they cannot profane his name. And how do we profane the name of the Lord? It's really through our actions and our words. And so he's very clear, and he goes into great detail about certain things that they can and cannot do. Well, if you are a follower of Yeshua like I am, then you know that in the new covenant, he also tells us that we are cohanim, our priests. So I want to look at Keva Aleph, 1 Peter chapter 2, verse 9. And here it says, but you are a chosen people, the king's cohanim, the king's priests, a holy nation. There's that word holy again. A people for God to possess. Why? In order for you to declare the praises of the one who called you out of darkness into his wonderful light. I am so glad that God called me out of darkness into his light. I rejoice all the time because my name is written in the book of life. But in this passage here, he is telling us that we are his cohanim. And similar to the cohanim in the Tanakh, we have a responsibility. And it is the same responsibility to be holy unto the Lord. Here he tells us he wants us to declare his praises to the people around us. Why? I believe so that they too can come out of darkness into his wonderful light. But before we can declare his praises, there's something else that we must do, and that is that we must live a holy life. Now, it's true when we look in the Parsha in the Tanakh, Adonai does give a list. These are things you should do and things you should not do. But holiness is much more than a list of do's and don'ts. Holiness comes because we love God and we want to please him. And holiness is a matter of our heart. And when my heart is totally surrendered to Adonai, then holiness is the choice that I will make. You see, I don't go by this list of do's and don'ts, but I go by the fact that I have a personal relationship with Yeshua. And I want to accurately represent him to the world around me so that many other people could experience what I have, and that is to be brought into his wondrous light. So the best way for me to live a holy life is to live my life like Yeshua would. If Yeshua would do these things, then it's okay for me to do them. If Yeshua wouldn't do these things, then it's not okay for me to do them. And yes, there are other things there are guidelines in the Bible as well, and I follow those guidelines and those commandments that God has given us because I want to be pleasing to him. And again, I want to accurately reflect him to people around me so that when they see me, they see Adonai. So I want to encourage you, let us purpose in our hearts to live a holy life. We don't want to profane the name of the Lord by our actions or by our words. So often people in their workplace and things, they display things that are so contrary to who God is and who they should be as believers. They get angry, they curse, they stomp and around and everything, and that's not pleasing and that's not being holy. And it's hard to then declare the praises of Adonai in that situation. So I want to also encourage you that you have someone who can help you with this. And he is called the Ruach. And we are leading up to Shavuot where we will celebrate the outpouring of the Ruach. And he has been given to help you and I walk in holiness. So I want to encourage you to draw upon his strength and purpose again to live a holy life. If you're here on Long Island, I'd like to encourage you and invite you to come to our Shabbat service tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. We're located at exit 61 of the Long Island Expressway. And tomorrow is the first Saturday of the month, which means that we are having bagels and coffee after service. In addition, we are celebrating all the birthdays in the month of May. So if you have a May birthday, come on down and you can have cake and coffee, and you'll even get a bag of chocolate candy to celebrate your birthday and a happy birthday song sung to you. If you're not here, you can still join us online through YouTube or Facebook. Unfortunately, I can't give you a bag of chocolate, but we would love to have you on YouTube or Facebook. We just welcome our online Mishpacha family. So many of you watch us regularly, and we are so glad and grateful for that. So God bless you. Have an awesome evening, a blessed Shabbat evening, and we will see you tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. Shabbat Shalom.